So you're looking at buying a camera in 2021. If you've already started looking around, you've probably noticed the huge range of options available from the big brand names, including Canon, Sony, Nikon, Olympus, and Fuji, to say the very least. The decision can be even harder to make given the options available within and in between the brands. You can get a compact camera, micro four thirds, full frame mirrorless, or DSLR camera. Each have their own advantages and price points to match the competing technology. So in this video, I'm going to select the 5 cameras that I think are worth buying in 2021 from the most budget entry-level model for the absolute beginner on a limited budget to the highest spec option for the most discerning enthusiasts with the cash ready to burn. Starting with the entry level coming in at under $1,000 Australian. US would be even cheaper. Let's take a look at the Canon 200 DSLR Mark II. This camera uses an APS-C sensor, which stands for Advanced Photo System Type C. It's not as large as a full frame camera, but often lighter and more cost effective. The image quality on well-lit photos can be comparable to the image quality on the more expensive full frame cameras that I'll bring up later in the video, but APS-C sensors often don't perform as well under low light conditions, and when it comes to using lenses, they have a 1.5 magnification, which can take some time getting used to. The Canon 200 has a 24.1 megapixel CMOS sensor, which allows you to take high resolution still images and blow them up to large A3 and beyond sizes. It has a 3-inch vari-angle flip-out screen, ideal for vlogging. It also does a decent job of action photography, shooting at 5 frames per second continuous shooting. It also shoots 4K video and has both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. When used in conjunction with the Canon app, it lets you share photos and video clips right to your iPhone for instant sharing to your social media accounts, friends, and family. It's one of the cheapest cameras I've come across with eye detect autofocus, which can really help maintain image sharpness and focus when shooting moving subjects, and works great when doing video selfies when no one is around to check the focus. Speaking of which, it also has a flip out screen to help with composition when you're in front of the camera. Next up, at a similar price point, perhaps around $300 more depending on which lens you get it with, is the Panasonic Lumix G85. This one can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $1,299 depending on where you live, and you can buy it with a kit lens. In this example, the 12 to 60mm lens would be ideal for a broad range of applications. It has a 15 megapixel sensor, which is a bit less than the Canon, but it has 4K video and 5-axis image stabilization built into the body, so it will help produce smooth footage when vlogging or doing any type of travel video. Image stabilization can also help out with low light photography, allowing you to shoot sunset and sunrise shots or interiors handheld without a tripod. Often you can get an extra 3 to 4 stops of shooting with image stabilization of this kind, meaning that when you normally top out at a shutter speed of 60 handheld to get a shot without any signs of camera shake, you can often shoot at speeds as low as 1 second and still get a sharp image. Other features include a weather sealed body, Wi-Fi connectivity, 3.5 input for external microphones, and continuous video shooting. Most cameras of this kind have a 30-minute recording limit on video, which can be intrusive for long podcast recordings or live events. The video times out and you have to wait a few seconds to initiate the next recording, and so on. And the Panasonic range of cameras all support unlimited video recording, and that's why a lot of YouTubers and video creators favor this range of cameras, along with the 4K recording and flip out screen. Next up is the Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV with the 14 to 42 kit lens. This 4th generation mirrorless camera is exceptionally portable, but has the speed and functionality required to help any shooter capture stunning photos and 4K video. This camera sets itself apart with the retro styling, compact body, and extensive feature set. I've got the previous generation, which I purchased a few years ago for street photography and travel, and it can be quite the conversation starter just because of its really distinctive retro look and feel. It uses a 20 megapixel micro four thirds sensor, has 15 frames per second burst speeds for action photography, advanced focusing, powerful 5-axis image stabilization for super smooth video, and sharp low light photography without the need for a tripod. And for those vlogging or taking lots of selfies, a flip down screen and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to send photos and videos directly from your camera to your mobile phone using the OMD app. Next up is my personal favorite, and it's the Canon Eos R, the camera that I've been using on the channel For the past couple of years now, there are a few variants of this camera, the RP and the more expensive R5 and R6, which you should get if you have the budget, but they come in at over $5,000 to $8,000 respectively, depending on which lens you get. And they're the most recent offering from Canon. And one of the highlights is that they can shoot 4K without a crop, unlike the original EOS R and RP, which go into crop mode when you shoot in 4K mode. And the R5, which is the most expensive, also shoots 8K video, uncropped, and at 60 frames per second, which is really best in class in terms of video right now in 2021 for that budget camera. But let's be realistic, for most people starting out, I think the EOS R is going to be just fine. For around $4,000, you can get the EOS R with a 24-105 series lens, which has all the focal lengths you could ask for when shooting YouTube videos or taking stills of just about any kind. It has a 30 megapixel full frame sensor. It has the highest image quality of all the cameras mentioned so far, with superior low light handling. It can shoot at 8 frames per second, has a flip out screen for selfies, and it allows you to monitor your videos, along with a 3.5 audio input for adding an external microphone. It's a great all-round camera with a kit lens, and even better if you add some prime lenses, such as the 51.2 for the most distinct and noticeable background blur effect, whether you're shooting stills or video. You can also turn the EOS R into a webcam for live streaming, just using a USB-C cable provided and without the need for any expensive HDMI capture cards, utilizing Canon's new webcam utility software, which you can download for free from the Canon website, making this camera truly the best all-rounder I've come across so far. My final recommendation is yet another full-frame mirrorless camera. It's the Sony A7s Mark Iii. This one is comparable to the EOS R5 that I mentioned earlier and has become popular with indie filmmakers and YouTube content creators. It only has a 12.1 megapixel image sensor for still photography, but can shoot 4K 120p with no crop, and with its high performance autofocus optimized for still or video capture, along with the 5.5 step new active mode stabilization, makes it a great choice for both video and still photography. However, it does come in at around 5,700 Australian, a little bit less US for the body only. By the time you add a good E-mount lens, such as the premium Sony 24-70 f2.8, you could be spending well over $8,000. If you like what you see here and find that's a little bit out of budget, you could look at the A7 Mark III or the Mark II, which precedes the A7S model, and the total price for the body and lens would be around $5,000 depending on where you live and where you purchase. Like the EOS R, you can also turn the Sony into a webcam by connecting the camera via USB and using the Image Edge webcam software. That's it for my list of the top 5 cameras for you to consider in 2021. If you think I've left out some other models that should have been worthy of consideration, feel free to put your suggestions in the comments box below, or any of your experiences you've had with the cameras mentioned, or anything else that you'd love to share with our channel viewers. Always, your comments are welcome. If I had the time or the will to create a longer video with a top 10 or top 20, I could have included many different camera models. They were really that close, but these are what I think are the top 5 cameras that I've had some experience in using and would really recommend for anyone, whether you're at the entry-level point of starting to create some videos here on YouTube, or whether you're a learner trying to become better at still photography. All of these options will be able to help you out in becoming a better photographer and helping you create better videos for YouTube and social media. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, feel free to hit me up with a like and consider subscribing to the channel. See you on the next one. Bye for now.